So a couple days ago I graduated my Cornish rocks to the goat trough, and they're still trying to figure out. Some like to get right on top and eat. They're now eating about, I have these scoops I picked up from like Tractor Supply, and they're eating about 6 quarts of food a day. In fact, we're almost finished with 150 pounds of feed. That's hard to believe. But these guys are getting kind of beefy now. You can see they got some meat on them. They're moving along really nice. Just to give you an idea, this is what's amazing to me. These are the Rhode Island Reds. Well, actually, one of them's a Rhode Island Red. You can see those other ones have like some different feathers on the bottom, but that one in the middle is a Rhode Island Red. We picked up the other one because they were similar color, but you can see they got some fancy feet on them with the feathers. But these are a week younger. Look at the size difference. I got it zoomed up to kind of make those look bigger, but when I come over here, it's like, whoa! And these are definitely a different type of bird. Now, assuming these 20 make it all the way through, they're going to be 7 pounds a piece, so that's 140 pounds. And like I said, in about 2 weeks, I'm going to get another batch in, probably 25. My friend might want some, so I might start a few more. But so that'll be roughly 380 pounds of meat that I'll be putting in my freezer. Now, over the last 2 weeks, I processed 30 rabbits. And so those are 3 pounds a piece. So that's 90 pounds of meat that I've done myself. And then I've got another 50 some odd babies that are, you know, we're growing out. And so in 2 months, I'll have another 150 pounds of rabbits. So it goes pretty quickly. Growing your own meat, you know what you're feeding them. You know how they've been treated. I should have shown you this morning. They're all trained now that when I come down, they're all lined up at the door going, "What are you doing? You're half an hour late. Give me my food." Well, these guys are, they're just starving in the morning when you take the food away. But this trowel has been about the best idea. I need to get some bricks on the backside because this floor has a little bit of a slant. Make it where they can stand all the way around both sides. Maybe get a few bricks. Anyways, they seem to be doing really well. The rabbits are actually pretty easy to care for if you have an approach like what I have, where these things are sitting up on a deck. All I got to do is come out here and, you know, throw them a little bit of Timothy hay, or actually Timothy grass is what I use, and make sure their waters are topped off. And that's not even an emergency. You can see they're fine. I can come back about lunchtime and do this. I really need to get out to the front garden and get some water on those seeds that I planted the other day. But I've got another 10 babies that I got to move out here. And so I've got this one cage that where I processed the rabbits the other day, so I got to clean this out, and I got a little pressure washer extension for the cage that I use for just rinsing it out really good. Where is that thing? Oh, here it is. I just want to show you this. I've actually got a pressure washer also, but I found that this thing works just fine. You can get these at any of the big box stores, and it just has a reducing nozzle on the end, and it gives plenty of pressure to kind of get that thing nice, sparkly clean again. Now, even though we've had a little bit of rain, I'm going to go ahead and just splash some water over the seeds, because it's really important to keep these seeds damp. And I use this, they call it a shower attachment on this. You want just you don't want to disturb the seeds where they're planted, because some of these seeds are just barely underneath the soil. Others are a little bit deeper. In fact, I'm kind of hoping that the rains we get over the next few days are not going to be gully washers. Yeah, this actually looks nice and damp. We had, it got really warm yesterday. Believe it or not, last 2 evenings I've had to go in and turn on the AC. Now if you look, the potatoes, once they get going, man, they really go. Notice we're starting to get some sprouts even right here. I planted them about, I think it was about, what is that, about a foot apart. And I've got my other seed potatoes. They look like they're still hanging in there, but I need to get these things growing up a little bit so I can cover them up and then put a channel down the middle. I must be doing something right with these onions. These onions are loving this spot. Notice I got a dead area in the middle here. Ran out of onions. Maybe I'll put some marigolds or something right in the middle there. Check this out. This is my strawberries. In fact, that looks like a couple blooms already. The strawberries are starting to perk up. I need to get some good fertilizer in there. I've got one of these, you know, Miracle Grow is a really nice liquid fertilizer, but it comes in a powdered form, and I've got a sprayer that I dumped a bag in, but it kind of clogged up the sprayer, so I realized this particular sprayer, you can only put about half a bag in there. Really liking the look of these onions. Wonder if my Texas sweets are doing any better yet. I think the peppers already grew an inch. I'm seeing a couple new sprouts coming up, like that one right there. So, you know, they're still trying to get their roots established. Let's hope that these start showing something significant here soon. Done about everything I can. I may hit this with a little bit of water too. These tomato plants aren't nice dark green. In fact, looks like I got something going on here. I've got an organic spray. I'm going to go ahead and hit these right away because it looks like there's maybe something working on these. Yeah, you got to kind of keep an eye on things. Anyways, pretty happy with this. Now I want to tell you, these first couple rows of potatoes that I put in, I just cut the eyes out and threw them in the ground and put dirt over them. You're really supposed to wait. According to the directions, you're supposed to wait a couple days and let the area that you cut away from the potato kind of scab over. But truthfully, potatoes are so hardy. You can take some of the smaller red potatoes and just throw them in whole. You don't have to wait for them to create their little shoots, you know, where the eyes grow out. Just throw them in the ground. Same with here. It's just the seed potatoes I bought this time were pretty large, so I decided to cut eyes out. But some of the videos I've seen, they say, you know, if you can put the whole potato in, you'll actually get a lot more potatoes than if you just put in this, you know, just the individual eyes. So anyways, we will see what happens. This was the bed with all the carrots and turnips and parsnips, and it'll be a week or so before we might start seeing some growth on that. Even these cucumbers, the leaves are really huge compared to when I planted them. So they're starting to take off. I forgot to check my seeds downstairs to see how they're doing. Let's back up and go see that. Well, I can't say that I'm seeing any life out of my green beans or peas yet. It looks like they're swelling up a little bit, but I'll have to look at the bag to see how long that takes to get going. But that's a whole bunch of those things I've planted. Problem is, when you get these things going, then you got to go get a bed ready for them. So I've turned off my heat lamps because it's 70 degrees down here in the basement. It should be more than enough to generate, but it was just drying these things out too fast, and boy, they take a lot of water when you got the heat and the fan going. So we'll have to see what happens. But anyways, we keep trying and we keep trying to learn. So this is when you know these guys are ready to graduate. They're not even in their nesting box anymore. So I got to get the nesting box out of here. I'm probably going to wait till this weekend to move them out, but I got 10 babies in here, so I need to get that that one grow-out cage cleaned up and ready for them. I'm going to keep them sheltered for a little while longer. You can see how much smaller these guys are. So they're 2 weeks younger. So the first ones that I showed you over here, these were born on the 13th of March. Oops, don't want to focus. 13th of March, and then these were born on March 27th. You can see they're still going to be in here for a couple more weeks, and then they'll be out running around, and I'll have to get them a home outside. But anyways, they're all snuggled up, nice and cozy. It got pretty warm yesterday. My little fan kicked on, so it's another reason to get them out. It's not quite as confined. In fact, we're probably about ready to take these tarps down that I've got. I got to just make sure that we're not going to get any more 30-degree weather. 40-degree weather, rabbits do fine when you start getting down to 30s. The babies struggle a little bit, the real small ones, because they not fully developed fur and everything. These will do fine even down in the 30s. 20s, you pretty much need some supplemental heating. So anyways, that's kind of where we're at. I need to get some water in here. Did you dump your water out today? Nope. We finally moved a gallon bowl in here because we don't know what she was doing. She knocked her bowl over twice, and all she had was her water bottle. That's another reason for redundancy. In case they screw around and knock their water over, they still have additional water. Anyways, I hope everybody's treating you well. I hope you're doing well, and God bless.